The entire rap industry shook when J Prince completely lost his cool after Finesse2Tymes signed a new deal contract with NBA YoungBoy. Not just once, but twice, expressing love for the Mob Ties Entertainment family. Finesse declared he needed a new look. But what seemed like a simple contract renewal quickly spiraled into a massive war over loyalty, power, and industry control bubbling to the surface. Bro, I can't do this, man. Why do you think I'm talking to these labels? Suddenly, a storm of questions hit the hip-hop community. Rap fans demanded answers. What actually happened behind closed doors? Why did this deal provoke such an aggressive response from the mighty Prince family? The Houston dynasty guiding Mob Ties Entertainment? This massive drama reached a boiling point, rattling the entire Texas rap scene. The ultimate turning point was a phone call that immediately went viral, sending shockwaves everywhere. Finesse2Tymes recently went live on Boss Talk TV, sharing a story that left us completely speechless. In a raw, unscripted moment, he praised NBA YoungBoy. We rarely see this kind of respect between bitter rivals. This was no casual acknowledgement, but a profound display of respect on live camera. No PR spin, no scripted media statement, just an honest Memphis rapper exposing a truth that shocked the music world. The exact same artist he had been locked in a fierce feud with just 2 years ago had quietly stepped up to save him from a very dark situation. NBA YoungBoy actually contacted the Prince family directly and asked them, straight up, what would it take to help get him out of his situation? That revelation dropped like a bombshell across the internet in late May 2026. No diss tracks, no slick talk, just pure facts. Finesse admitted that NBA YoungBoy bypassed everyone and went straight to the Prince family, the powerful team behind Mob Ties Entertainment in Houston, to find out exactly what it would cost to release him from his contract. I have to respect that. I can't keep claiming nobody supports me, because you actually did step up. Hit that like button and think about this. Here we have a rapper publicly crying out on live streams for months, desperately begging for someone, anyone, to step in and throw him a lifeline. Yet, while the internet was busy talking and pretending to care, the only person who actually answered that call was NBA YoungBoy. Keep in mind, this is the same artist who, back in 2024, was locked in a brutal beef with Finesse, even posting disrespectful things on Instagram about his rival's family. The exact same man who used to launch wild public rants targeting Finesse directly with unfiltered rage. Yet, behind closed doors, this same man extended an olive branch to his former enemy. You could literally hear the shock and genuine gratitude in Finesse's voice. We never expected him to receive this level of support from a former enemy. Finesse said, quote, "You actually tried to make it happen, so I have to take my hat off and give you your flowers," end quote. Within just a few hours, the internet exploded. Clips of the discussion flooded platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and X, sparking Traps and Trunks analyzed the story on their channels, while Say Cheese TV posted the viral video online, setting comment sections ablaze. Everyone weighed in with strong opinions. Some praised NBA YoungBoy as the real MVP of hip-hop, saluting this shocking display of unity. Others felt Finesse's praise was a calculated chess move, a desperate plea to be rescued from a terrible contract. Meanwhile, we saw a third group watching closely to see what would happen next. In this rap game, every move has major consequences, and the drama is far from over. You are likely on the edge of your seat. Make sure to subscribe as we uncover how the Houston rap scene, J Prince does not play games. This legendary figure did not just enter the music industry, he built Rap-A-Lot Records from the ground up. His name carries massive weight, echoing through the streets and corporate boardrooms nationwide. As editors, we know he has guided the culture longer than most of these modern artists have even been alive. He is not just an executive, he is a legendary kingmaker, commanding immense respect and fear across the entire music landscape. Industry execs agree. J Prince has settled some of the most intense hip-hop feuds stretching coast to coast, proving that when he speaks, the streets listen. Now, throw NBA YoungBoy into this volatile mix, a heavyweight from Baton Rouge, running his own label with its own major challenges. And suddenly, this situation gets even more intense. We see a rising star with his own battles, picking up the phone and calling Houston, asking the Prince family to release one of their artists. You and I both know this was going to be a wildly complicated negotiation. But before our editorial team dissects the legal fortress Jay Prince built around this contract, we have to understand what Finesse was actually trying to escape in the first place. This story is not just about a single phone call, it is the tragic tale of a creator who felt he had signed away his freedom, trapped in an agreement that felt more like a cage. And now, he was pounding on every industry door he could find, desperate for an escape. Our news desk tracked Finesse broadcasting this story for months, taking to every live stream to expose his reality. On platforms like Boston Boss Talk TV, he aired his deep frustrations. Before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe. The rapper was emotionally drained, pleading with the internet while trying to escape the grip of Mob Ties Entertainment for nearly a year. That intervention from NBA YoungBoy was only one act in a much larger, unfolding industry drama. To really understand why this carried so much weight, you and I must examine the cage Finesse2Tymes was locked inside. Finesse, whose real name is Ricky T. Greer, had returned from federal prison years ago, determined to find a fresh start. He was not starting from zero, though. He possessed a massive buzz, the backing of Memphis, a string of street hits, and most importantly, the watchful eye of one of Southern hip-hop's most formidable, legendary figures. That icon was Jay Prince, the undisputed OG. A figure with a white beard, a calm yet authoritative voice, and an iron grip on the Houston music scene. Jay Prince and his son, Jay Prince Jr., welcomed Finesse into Mob Ties Entertainment. They treated him like royalty. They advanced him cash, gifted him diamond jewelry, flew him out on luxury private jets, and even supported his family while he served time. From the outside, our commentators note, it looked like a dream come true. An artist finishes his sentence, an industry legend signs him, and the streets witness a new king preparing to rise. It all seemed flawless, but the harsh truth Finesse uncovered was not immediately clear to him. It took years before he finally exposed everything during an unfiltered live session with Suge, opening up completely, revealing for the very first time the true cost of his contract. Behind the glitz and glamour, there was a steep price hidden beneath the surface, a crushing burden he bore in silence. Finesse sat down one evening, determined to decode the fine print of his Mob Ties contract. He had never used artificial intelligence tools, but desperate for clear answers, he uploaded his entire legal agreement into the software, hoping it would highlight exactly what he had signed away. Reading every clause, the software analysis came back with a brutal, cold assessment that shattered his illusions. This was not just a bad deal, it was a nightmare. He explained that after locating the contract, he tried to get experienced attorneys to review the paperwork, but many legal professionals simply refused to touch a contract associated with such a powerful family. Once the analysis flagged the contract's true nature, Finesse realized the danger. This was absolutely no ordinary industry headache. Even veteran entertainment attorneys hesitated to step into the ring. Multiple high-profile law firms, after reviewing the files, declined representation or offered extremely cautious, non-committal advice. No one wanted to touch this dispute. If you find this breakdown helpful, please subscribe to our channel. So, Finesse and his team relied heavily on digital tools, decoding complex legal jargon that no industry insider dared translate aloud. The verdict was devastating. It was a predatory 360 deal in every single aspect. To fully grasp what this meant, imagine an artist surrendering total control of their career, their masters, publishing rights, tour revenue, merchandise sales, lucrative endorsement deals, and even their very own name and likeness. This label owned every stream where Finesse's voice or image appeared. It functioned as an invisible pipeline, constantly funneling his hard-earned money straight back to their accounts. Plus, the flashy gifts he received over the years, the diamond chains, vehicles, private charters, were never actually his. Our analysis shows these perks were just expensive loans advanced against his future royalties. He was not living in luxury. He was drowning in debt, forced to pay every single dollar back. But the contract traps ran even deep. We watched Finesse stumble over a contract clause, visibly shaking his head in absolute disbelief. An assignment clause, another trap, allowing them to shift his contract to any label. Our editorial team noted that Mob Ties held absolute power to transfer his deal wherever they pleased, trading ownership. They could pass his deal to another brand without consent, crushing his hope of outlasting the contract, though he dreamed of escaping. Our analysis shows a brutal reality. His music career was completely locked down. Regardless of his corporate cage, heavy restrictions would follow him everywhere, killing any chance at real freedom. The biggest blow, however, stems from an old warning Finesse received long before he ever signed that deal. We are talking about J. Prince, the legendary boss of Rap A Lot, holding 30 years of industry power. He reportedly gave a direct piece of warning to a newly freed Finesse: never bring lawyers to the table. He recalled that J. Prince, the old man, told him, "Don't get a lawyer." According to Finesse, Prince insisted on keeping legal teams out of it, saying they would not go there. We hear that real artists supposedly do not need legal aid because attorneys only complicate or ruin deals. It was about everything should be based on respect. Fresh out of prison, Finesse looked up to Prince and trusted his word. He signed the contract choosing loyalty over legal protection, a massive mistake that we know haunts him today. As commentators, we saw him take to hot new hip-hop, calling the entire deal completely unfair and totally one-sided. He pointed to recruitment terms stacked against him, highlighting that assignment clause as a calculated trap for his career. But our editorial team wants to highlight the ultimate truth. This contract was a deep trap he might never escape. For 4 long years, he found himself locked up artistically, completely unable to drop any of his music. He could not release songs on major streaming platforms. He was heard screaming, "Bro, I cannot. Why do you think I say labels? Just 2 projects deep in mob ties. Let us look at the cold math together. 4 years, but only 2 albums. That is a terrible ratio." He constantly pointed to this slow output. He claims the record label was not even clearing his songs fast. They showed no enthusiasm. Meanwhile, Atlantic Records, the massive parent company connected to them, was barely paying attention to Finesse, providing absolutely zero real financial backing or promotional support. There was no marketing budget for his releases, no big playlists, and no promotional engine pushing his tracks. Our team understands his frustration. He felt completely invisible, trapped in a system with zero creative control. Decisions were made completely over his head. But the anger did not just come from being held back. He actually had massive momentum, with packed shows lined up and a passionate, growing fan base ready to support. Tons of unreleased songs were sitting in his vault, but all that artistic heat was basically wasted. He was locked in a corporate cage. Desperate to find a voice, Finesse turned to his fans directly. We saw him use the only weapon he had left: raw, live streams, and unfiltered internet rants. Every emotional breakdown gave us a direct window into his deep pain, showing his reality to the world. Remember to subscribe for more updates, because right when things looked hopeless, this entire rap saga flipped. An unexpected superstar was paying close attention, watching from far beyond the limits of Baton Rouge. This is where the story gets crazy. To understand why NBA YoungBoy made that legendary phone call, you and I must rewind the tape and analyze the chaotic history between these two. They were never best friends or easy collaborators. In fact, 2 years prior, Finesse and YoungBoy were locked in a massive, public internet feud. They were not friends, completely ignoring each other. They clashed as bitter rivals across social networks. However, this was not your standard industry drama, built around rap diss, tracks, cash, or clout. This beef was much messier and highly personal. It involved relationships, triggering the type of explosive tension that is incredibly hard to calm down. Everything started in September 2023, when Finesse reportedly slid into the private messages of one of YoungBoy's baby mamas. She eventually showed YoungBoy, a man notorious for holding severe grudges. He lets things simmer deep beneath the surface, waiting patiently. He waited until the dam broke in April. On April 10, 2024, he dropped a bombshell. Smash that like button as we dissect this photo. One of Finesse's children's mothers, Vanessa, also known as FNG Suga. The image was striking. Vanessa dressed in pink lingerie and bunny ears, posted right on YoungBoy's Instagram story for everyone to see. But it didn't stop there. YoungBoy reportedly followed up with suggestive posts targeting another woman in Vanessa's inner circle. This was no subtle swipe. It was a direct, unmistakable strike designed to humiliate. The fallout spread instantly. As commentators, we saw media giants XXL and Hot New Hip Hop rush to analyze how this personal spat escalated into a full-blown public spectacle in mere hours. Finesse, true to form, wasn't going to stay quiet. He fired back using his signature mix of humor, online jabs, and the kind of unfiltered energy that first made him famous. He trolled back, flipping the narrative in his own style, setting the stage for the next explosive chapter. At first, Finesse2Tymes threw out what sounded like a joke. He claimed YoungBoy could FaceTime Shug for $250,000. It seemed like a quick, playful jab, but then, almost immediately, he caught himself. He deleted the comment and returned with a fiercer, more serious tone dripping with Memphis pride. He posted a message aimed directly at NBA YoungBoy, suggesting the rapper forgot where he came from. That post leaned heavily into street credibility and loyalty. One line that really went viral was a now-deleted post where Finesse declared, "I'm from Memphis and we don't deal with tender acts out here." That wasn't just talk, it was a warning, rooted in his city's street codes, emphasizing how seriously they treat loyalty and respect. Finesse explained that in Memphis, chasing quick cash through relationships with women was a sensitive subject governed by strict unspoken rules. NBA YoungBoy did not take that sitting down. Instead, he fired back with even more heat. He called Finesse out for sounding soft, attacking his toughness. Then YoungBoy dropped a massive bombshell, accusing Finesse of crossing a major line by sliding into his wife's direct messages, something he warned Finesse should have known was off limits. To add fuel, YoungBoy brushed off Finesse's earlier talks about mental health as nothing but excuses, making it clear that the September 2023 incident had been eating at him for months. This was no longer just chatter. YoungBoy was ready to settle the score publicly and loudly. For days, their back and forth set social media ablaze. Finesse kept firing back in the police and comment sections with sharp comebacks. Meanwhile, YoungBoy's loyal fanbase refused to stay silent, and YoungBoy kept feeding the flames, posting constant Instagram stories to keep his side of the battle, front and center. Their fans clashed like rival boxing camps, each defending their champion with fierce devotion. Some were die-hard YoungBoy supporters, while others stood as true Memphis loyalists. But plenty of onlookers saw this as just another unnecessary rap industry conflict, unfolding between two artists who had much bigger battles ahead. What is wild is that despite all the drama, we never actually got a diss track. No studio reply was ever recorded in the heat of the moment. Instead, the entire drama lived and died in Instagram stories, deleted posts, and heated rant videos. This digital war blazed brightly for only a few days in mid-April 2024, dying down almost as fast as it had exploded. Both artists seemingly moved on YoungBoy back to his world. Finesse focused on his own struggles and affiliations. The beef became an almost forgotten chapter, preserved only in countless screenshots and recap videos. But here is where we find a really intriguing twist. Hit subscribe and let's discuss. Surface, suggesting that NBA YoungBoy might have still been carrying heat beneath the surface, even after the public storm settled. One viral clip claimed NBA YoungBoy was still heated after Finesse2Tymes tried to sun him on an IMAG TV segment, showing that the tension had not entirely vanished. Even with the public sparring over, there was an unmistakable undercurrent of unresolved frustration. This simmering tension set the stage for a twist no one saw coming, especially because most artists never dare to take it this far. Drop a like if you agree. This was not a typical industry feud, but a stand against the man who wronged their child's mother. Let's pause because most rappers, when confronted with drama like this, would have just shrugged it off. Imagine this. We watch Finesse2T break down his contract situation live on stream, with emotion spilling over. Usually, the internet would just screenshot it, make memes, and use it as fuel for social media clout. But NBA YoungBoy did something entirely unexpected, completely flipping the script on how we view these rivalries. He shattered our expectations of hip-hop drama. Instead of throwing public jabs or taking to social media, he put his phone down and called Houston directly. Finesse later spilled the details on Boss Talk TV. He explained that YoungBoy contacted the Prince family long before any of the public drama even started to surface. This call didn't happen after the explosive Ben 10 saga or the recent headlines that caught our attention. No, this happened quietly behind the scenes while the public waited for another clash. In an industry where petty grudges define careers, YoungBoy became a highly unexpected voice of peace. He tried to break the cycle before it could ignite, with the supposed rival stepping up first. He acted as the voice of reason. Before we unpack Jay Prince's response, make sure to hit subscribe. This news blew up online because it challenged everything our audience believed about street loyalty and toughness. In a culture where people constantly preach unity but act differently, a former rival showed true loyalty. As we analyzed his comments, Finesse admitted he no longer felt completely isolated and abandoned. Support had arrived from an unexpected ally. But as we know, every rescue mission has a catch. Someone has to answer the call, and in this story, the gatekeeper was a formidable figure. We are talking about Southern rap's most powerful kingpin, J. Prince himself. When reports reached Houston that NBA YoungBoy was actually ready to buy Finesse out of his contract, J. Prince's response was cold and absolute, showing zero hesitation or interest. There was no negotiation. Instead, the Rap-A-Lot executive slammed the door shut so hard that we all felt the shockwaves. Our team analyzed his message, which was loud and clear. No sum of cash, whether it was $1 million, $5 million, or $10 million, was ever going to make him budge. From our editorial view, this stance wasn't about money. It was far deeper than financial gain. This is pure principle. J. Prince has always viewed signed contracts as ironclad promises, almost like blood oaths. To him, a signature is a sacred trust. By the way, hit that like button if you respect loyalty. Even when millions of dollars are on the line, he holds firm to his old-school value. We have broken down the full details of this high-stakes showdown in our previous Rap-A-Lot segments. Our team analyzed J. Prince responding to YoungBoy's attempts to buy Finesse2Tymes out of his contract. We also tracked the fallout from Prince's fierce rejection of NBA YoungBoy's massive buyout offer. In our estimation, this saga teaches us a profound lesson about loyalty, power, and respect. In the rap industry, it is not always the richest who win, but those who stand by their word. We know you can't backtrack on a promise just because someone else comes along with a bigger offer. When an artist puts a signature on the dotted line, they commit. They have to stand by their word. There is no room for excuses, no wiggle room to say, "Oh, but I found a better deal now." That is the level of professional integrity expected. You must honor the deals you make. That is exactly the stance J. Prince and other industry veterans took when Finesse's situation went public. This wasn't just gossip. On the same Boss Talk TV episode, we heard about that crucial phone call. A respected industry veteran, an OG in the game, suddenly dialed in with some harsh truths. His voice cut through the noise as he declared, "Office hours are from 9 to 5. He asked why he framed it that way, concluding that contracts are strictly about business, not feeling. He reminded our viewers of a key rule from the Players Club: to separate business and emotion. When deals are signed, personal feelings cannot blur what everyone agreed to in black and white. The veteran painted a clear picture, noting that when Finesse first signed, that money felt like a blessing. He was likely smiling from ear to ear, feeling like he had finally hit the ultimate jackpot. But we have to look at the catch. The contract only feels like a trap today because of success. He thinks the deal suddenly got unfair. No, Finesse just believes he can do better elsewhere, plain and simple. We can bet that when he signed that contract and pocketed the advance, he was smiling ear to ear. That sums up the core belief of J. Prince. Nobody forced Finesse to sign anything. There were no threats or tricks. The young artist walked in on his own, took the advance, the jewelry, the support his family needed while locked up, and willingly signed on the dotted line. And now, as his buzz skyrockets and major offers come knocking at his door, that contract suddenly looks like a cage instead of a ladder. For J. Prince, that doesn't mean the deal is unfair. To him, it's just an artist forgetting the commitment he made the second that cash hit his account. But Finesse has fired back with his side, repeatedly claiming he wasn't properly educated before signing. He revealed he was told not to bring a lawyer, trusted J. Prince like family, and signed purely on faith. And when an independent team finally examined the contract, they deemed it one of the most one-sided agreements ever seen. Still, J. Prince's position remains firm. For him, that signed contract is absolute law. And it's not just J. Prince Sr. setting boundaries. J. Prince Jr., who runs Mob Ties, has been publicly going after Finesse for months. When Finesse claimed J. Prince Jr. canceled his major Houston gig over Memorial Day weekend, a concert featuring Lil Baby that was set to include him, Jr. pulled no punches. Before we unpack the cracks in their bond, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Their relationship. Finesse maintained he was supposed to be on that stage, ready to perform, but the sudden cancellation only added fuel to a burning fire. After a shocking call dropped him from the lineup, Finesse's frustration only intensified when he stumbled across social media footage showing J. Prince Jr. hanging out with Lil Baby at the exact show he was cut from. In Houston, they canceled my show. Hey Junior, right behind his back. The sting of being sidelined worsened as he watched Junior partying, essentially rubbing salt in his wounds. Driven by anger and betrayal, Finesse called out J. Prince Jr. directly on Instagram in a raw, emotional rant. He accused them of tricking him into a bad contract and actively blocking him from booking new gigs and opportunities, painting a picture of an artist squeezed out of the very career he fought for. Finesse vented, "They already bamboozled me out of my contract. Damn family, at least let people book me." Junior didn't hold back either, launching a cold, calculated counterattack on his own feed, claiming Finesse was blaming him for basically every single setback in his life, while Junior had found peace amidst the chaos. He posed a pointed question, asking how he could convince a promoter to drop an artist he represents. It made zero logical sense. Then, in another jab, Junior pointed out that Finesse had transitioned anyway, acting primarily as a content creator and streamer who effectively walked away from the music industry by his own choice. For the full story on Junior's response, check out YouTube. Hit that like button as we watch the tense public drama play out completely. Meanwhile, the constant back-and-forth insults and accusations have dominated Instagram for weeks, catching the eyes of major hip-hop media outlets like Hot New Hip Hop. Their reports analyzed this heated dispute between Junior and Finesse, which shows zero sign of cooling off. From the Prince family perspective, the narrative is crystal clear. They saw promise in Finesse at his absolute lowest, even supporting his family financially while he was locked up, signing him when nobody else had the faith or guts to do so. They provided advances, jewelry, private jets, and a platform to make a name. Now that Finesse has built real momentum, they won't simply hand him over to a Baton Rouge heavyweight, waving a massive check. That is just not how Houston operates. That is not how the legendary Rap-A-Lot conducts business, nor is it the way the iconic J. Prince has operated for over 3 decades. So, when NBA YoungBoy called, he found himself hitting a massive brick wall built long before YoungBoy even stepped into the spotlight. We need to pause for a second and set the record straight. Despite the public rants and constant social media drama, our news desk has found the reality of this saga is actually far less wild than the rumors claim. Finesse2X has not signed with NBA YoungBoy. There is no official announcement, no collaborative album coming, and absolutely no press release confirming any brand new record deal. Management changes. What we actually have here is a phone call, some mutual respect between two popular artists, and a flat-out refusal from J. Prince Jr. to let that spark turn into anything official. It is a standoff dripping with heavy tension, loaded with hype, but left completely in limbo. We are watching a tangled story, one that seems to be about industry power plays rather than real business, at least for now. As commentators, we see this situation boiling down to one main thing: hope. Hope for a way out, that is, the heart of this drama. According to Finesse on Boss Talk TV, NBA YoungBoy reached out directly to the Prince family, asking what it would take to buy Finesse out of his contract. That move alone earned major respect from Finesse, who saw it as real support. For a long time, he felt like he was completely alone in this battle. But then YoungBoy stepped up. Finesse shared that he still hopes the negotiations are active and haven't died out. If you listen closely, he dropped a critical clue, using the word working, not signed, not finished, but simply working on it. In hip-hop, that usually means the deal is far from finalized. It might even suggest it will never actually cross the finish line. Why? Because the Prince family has been clear in public interviews, social media posts, and public statements that no amount of money will buy out this contract. When an influential powerhouse like J. Prince refuses to move, decisions rarely change during behind-the-scenes negotiations. So what is really going on behind closed doors? We are looking at a slow, tense standoff. Finesse is not hiding. He is streaming live almost daily, creating video content, and keeping his brand highly visible to keep the internet talking. But when we look at his rap career, he is completely stuck. The contract has him locked down. He has been incredibly open about his struggles, and during one emotional stream, he broke down crying as he shared the heavy burden he has been carrying. He said, "I love mob ties, but it is time for a new chapter for me, Junior. He explained he spent 4 years with the label, dropping only 2 projects, and is now 33 years old, feeling the clock ticking on his prime. He wants his freedom to chase massive financial opportunities elsewhere. During the stream, he pleaded, "I am 33 years old. P. Let me go to somebody. P. That is actually going to let me grow." He even made an incredible offer to buy himself out, saying, if Mob Ties wants 10, 15, or even $20 million to release him, he is ready to pay. He just wants to walk away, reclaim total control of his rap career, and finally start making real money. If you are enjoying this rap news breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Despite his emotional video plea, the exit door remains slammed shut. Mob Ties still fully owns his music rights and has the power to transfer his deal to other labels due to an assignment clause in his contract. Finesse actually used ChatGPT Live to break down the deal, proving that Atlantic Records is still involved because Mob Ties operates directly under that major label corporate umbrella. Even if NBA YoungBoy writes a blank check, our analysis shows that money must clear multiple layers of executives and lawyers who all want a cut. This complex business structure means his freedom cannot be bought with mere passion. In the rap game, it is about surviving a brutal industry designed to keep artists locked in. The Prince family has already slammed the door completely shut, but as we look closer, the plot gets even thicker. Finesse has been hinting that several major industry icons are watching from the sidelines. We know he has dropped names like 50 Cent casually, suggesting massive deals worth 10 or maybe even $20 million are waiting for him. But here's the catch. None of those other heavy hitters have made a public move like YoungBoy. None of them have picked up the phone to help. We saw him make the call out in the open, giving Finesse something real to hold on to. For now, that rare act belongs solely to YoungBoy. In our view, he is the only artist offering real, documented proof of extending a helping hand. This story headline might make you believe a new deal went down, but our reporting confirms it was just a raw conversation, a knock on a door that stayed firmly closed. Finesse2Tymes remains tied to Mob Ties. Meanwhile, NBA YoungBoy continues to blaze his own trail. J Prince stands unyielding an industry wall nobody has climbed. What's changed isn't a new contract. As we analyze it, it's a massive shift in the narrative. 2 major figures, once bitter rivals, are quietly building an unexpected bridge. This bridge doesn't lead to a record deal, but instead establishes a rare form of mutual respect. In hip-hop, that is a priceless and fragile currency. This isn't about industry wars or cheap headlines. It's a real test of character, showing a level of unity that matters more than any platinum record ever could. Let's remember, in a culture too often scarred by tragic and silent feuds, this situation was resolved with a simple phone call. That call brought respect. But can Finesse ever break free from his restrictive Mob Ties contract? Our team is still tracking that question. The paperwork is ironclad, the label untouchable. Senior J Prince has made his stance clear. Junior J Prince stands firm, and Houston's promoters are fully aligned. All major buyout offers and upfront money have been rejected. Now, Finesse is left staring down a very narrow path ahead. He can sit out the deal, pursue fresh legal strategies, or try to negotiate a massive buyout with the Princes. As commentators, we see no easy victories here. But one thing remains completely certain for Finesse right now. He is cornered, exhausted by this endless battle, but also incredibly grateful. Out of everyone in this entire industry, it was NBA YoungBoy who reached out, trying to throw him a lifeline. In a rap game notorious for fake love and corporate betrayal, that genuine gratitude might actually be the most valuable asset Finesse has left. If you and I are seeing this story the same way, we've got more for you. Click on the other exclusive video showing on your screen right now. We appreciate you tuning in. If you want to see more hip-hop breakdowns, smash that like button, subscribe for weekly news updates, share this with your friends, and leave us a comment with your thoughts. From the news desk, we will see you in the next video.